Hey everyone, James Reeves, TFB TV. Today we are ranking the 5.7 pistols that are available on the market today, fourth quarter 2025. This is actually my third time recording this video. We had a little shuffle in the rankings that we'll talk about towards the end of this video to explain why I'm recording yet again. We're almost in the golden age of 5.7. More and more guns are being made in the caliber, more and more companies manufacturing ammunition for the platform, even Palmetto State Armory, and we're getting options all the way from premier handmade quality shit like the FN P90 all the way down to the, hey dad, look at this Kel-Tec P50 I found in the dumpster level of rifles, carbines, SBRs, AR-15 uppers, and pistols. But the pistols, they're all just good. None of them is perfect. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think one of the best ones on the market today is actually made in Turkey. Let's jump into it. Number 6, the PSA Rock. Did I buy this gun for under 400 bucks? Yeah, I think I did. Did I run 1,000 rounds through it without one single malfunction and without cleaning it? That is correct. Is it the cheapest gun on this list? No, but it's close. Does it feel like the cheapest gun on this list? Yeah, it does. Am I going to ask myself a couple more questions? Yes, I am. Did I or did I not, on December 28, 2022, receive a PSA Rock that was missing roll pins in the frame, thereby allowing the slide to come off with the slightest upward pressure? And when I called PSA customer service to get the issue fixed, did they or did they not kick me in the customer nuts by sending me roll pins to fix it myself for a 9mm PSA dagger? All right, enough of that. You guys get the point. Done with the questions. The fact is, PSA, they're a budget manufacturer. They make a budget gun. The PSA Rock feels like a budget gun, and I certainly got budget, quality control, and customer service, but they did eventually make it right. And when I got the complete gun back, it ran. I don't want what I just said to deter anyone from buying this pistol. If you're on a budget, you want to get into 5.7, buy the Rock. I would go so far to say that dollar for dollar, this might be the best gun PSA makes. I actually really liked it, even though it stumbled out of the gate. So again, don't get wound up about being on the bottom of the list, because I still think that this is a pretty good gun. The Rock's similar to most of the other guns on this list in terms of specs, but it has the highest capacity, 23+1. Another thing to mention, PSA now has the Rock Compact. Honestly, I think they got this right. They took the full-size Rock, they made it smaller and more concealable, which is exactly the direction that most 5.7 handgun manufacturers have completely ignored. I haven't reviewed the Compact yet or dug into the ballistic changes from the shorter barrel, which I really want to know about, but credit where it's due, PSA is out there repping the 5.7. There's no reason 5.7 shouldn't be used in carry guns. We can get into that. It's a whole nother issue. But I'm glad PSA is working in that direction. So yeah, it's number 6, but it's not a bad gun by any means. Number 5, the Smith & Wesson M&P 5.7. I actually gave this guy a glowing review based on my experience at the range, which was flawless. It had what was, at the time, class-leading 22-round magazines. I still maintain, as we sit here today, that it's got some of the best overall fit and finish of all the guns on this list. The M&P series is a force to be reckoned with, and it's a lineup of pistols that has been pretty much flawless since its introduction. But unfortunately, the M&P series takes a lot of second-rate billing, doesn't get the respect it deserves. The M&P 5.7, truly a Smith & Wesson M&P pistol with the same materials, the same excellent construction. Mine was 100% reliable. However, I have seen a couple criticisms of this pistol that give me pause, even though I myself never personally encountered them. First, I've seen videos and customer reviews where people complain that the fully loaded 22-round magazines can be unreliable when they're fully loaded. I don't know if Smith & Wesson's fixed this issue or not. Frankly, I don't even know if the issue is true. All I know is I've seen enough allegations out there to be a little cautious. Relatedly, I highly recommend that for 5.7 reviews, you guys should be checking out Buffman's channel, but he has pointed out this issue himself. Moreover, the Smith & Wesson uses the innovative Tempo rotating barrel gas-assisted operating system, a little unique in this segment, but because the system diverts some gas, some porting in the barrel, users have reported it can shave a little velocity off compared to a pure delayed blowback design like most of these are. The loss is usually small, but with 5.7, velocity matters a lot for terminal performance, so it is a trade-off to note if true. Also, not the cheapest option. In fact, I think at $650, it might be the second most expensive gun on this list. Number 4, the controversy slot. This gun is controversial by itself and because many of you might understandably be upset that it's not last place in this video, but I'm going to have to give credit to the Kel-Tec PR57 for being one of the most innovative guns on this list. In typical Kel-Tec fashion, this gun is brilliant in concept and design, so in execution. The PR57, far and away the smallest and lightest 5.7 pistol out there, definitely concealable with a 20+1 round capacity. How does it accomplish this? Doesn't have interchangeable magazines, just one internal magazine fed using 10-round stripper clips. Oh my God, Kel-Tec, they've slaughtered the sacred cow that is interchangeable magazines, but with a 21-round capacity in 5.7 and virtually all civilian defensive gun uses rarely requiring a mag change, if ever, it makes a lot of sense to go with a smaller, lighter, cheaper gun with massive capacity than to insist on having interchangeable magazines. From my review, it's faster to get 10 rounds into this gun than it is to reload a revolver anyways, and the 180-degree ejection port makes clearing malfunctions easy, even without having to take a magazine out. Unfortunately, when we were breaking this gun in, we got plenty of practice with that. In its favor, the gun weighs 14 ounces unloaded, a quarter-pound lighter than a Glock 43. That's amazing. It's also under an inch at its widest point, making it thinner than a Glock 43. All that, and it still comes in at an MSRP of $399. On paper, it undercuts the PSA Optics Ready Rock that sells for $499. And by the way, the Kel-Tec is optics ready itself. As I mentioned, we had several malfunctions in the first couple hundred rounds with the gun, but those stopped occurring after we broke it in, cleaned it, and lubed it. While today I might trust a PSA Rock more out of the box than the Kel-Tec, it's also a newer gun and that could change over time. On paper, the Kel-Tec smashes the Rock in everything but raw capacity, and it's still cheaper than the PSA, and we haven't even talked about its recoil-reducing rotary barrel and dual recoil rod system. Let's take a pause right here, say thanks to 511, longtime sponsor of the program. They're going to donate 5 pairs of the 511 Stash sneaker to the 5 best comments on this video. I designed the Stash sneaker personally over the past 2 years. I've been wear testing it for closer to 3. Compactable, jack of all trades, master of none shoe that's meant to be easy for travel, versatile for use in pretty much any scenario except maybe like jogging or some shit. We just introduced a new color of the Stash, iron gray. 5 of you are going to win an iron gray pair of Stash sneakers because in a few days 511 is going to dig through these comments and pick the best ones. Good luck with that. Make sure to go back and check your replies. And let's get on to number 3. Square in the middle at number 3, we're putting a pretty square in the middle gun, the Ruger 5.7. Some people might even argue that this could be the best pistol on this list dollar for dollar. No frills, sensible option, doesn't blow everything else out of the water, but it also doesn't have anything wrong with it either. It's a solid, conservative, missionary position pick from a trustworthy company. The cons are few. Sits in the middle of the pack dimensionally at about 1.2 inches thick. About midway at 25 ounces unloaded for weight, so it's not tiny, but it's not huge either. The guns on this list span from 1 inch thick, the Kel-Tec, to 1.4 inches, so it's truly in the average. Capacity 20 rounds, which is tied for the lowest. Street price, only around $450, which makes it a great value. And fun fact, this is the only 5.7 pistol I've had a client use in a defensive gunfight, so it has a little street cred in my book. Construction solid, billet slide, nitrided barrel slide treatment. It's just a dependable, no frills gun at a sensible price. It absolutely deserves the number 3 slot, and I think this is a fantastic gun. Number 2, the Tisas PX57 Raptor. I hate saying it. I do, because you guys know generally how I feel about Turkish firearms. I've spent years exposing importers, tempting you with $150 bullpup shotguns that look like they came out of Halo, but work like they came out of a 3rd grade Indochina sweatshop. But there are some reputable manufacturers from Turkey for handguns, which seems to be taken a little bit more seriously for some reason in Turkey, handguns do versus shotguns. At EWA several years ago, my buddy Ergan showed me a prototype of the Tisas PX57, which was supposed to be, at the time, smallest, lightest, least expensive 5.7 pistol when it was conceived. Unfortunately, because it's gotten so competitive, it can't claim any of those titles now, but it's still arguably the best gun on this list by the dollar. Allow me to explain. First, Tisas is taking this project very seriously. This is a second, maybe third iteration of this gun in a short period of time as they continue to improve the pistol. All versions of the PX57 come out of the box with a QPQ treated steel slide. QPQ, quench, polish, quench, is a salt bath nitrocarburizing process, hardens the surface, improves wear and corrosion resistance, gives the metal a slick, durable finish, but it's also got other features this gun does that make it pretty intelligent. It uses Glock sights, brilliant. It natively accepts Shield RMSC pattern optics right out of the box without plates. It has the best trigger in the class. It's phenomenal, a great trigger by any measure, excellent ergonomics, comes with an 11-inch crown match barrel. I've tested several copies. It's been 100% reliable. All this in street price on these is about $425, making it even cheaper than the Ruger 5.7. And other than the Kel-Tec, the cheapest optics-ready gun on this list. But as I said, it's not perfect. It's roughly 25 ounces empty, ships with a 20-round magazine, meaning that, of course, it's tied for last place. Still good capacity, though, but Smith & Wesson and PSA have higher capacity options that are smaller. And this is purely subjective, but I hate the aesthetics. I'm so tired of red anodized bullshit, and every time I look at that trigger shoe, I get mad. It's like the monster neck tattoo or the Salt Life bumper sticker of the gun world. My pressure just going up thinking about it. I also hate the windows cut in the slide. I hope that's for functional reasons, maybe to lighten the slide for proper cycling velocity, which Ruger managed to accomplish with lightning cuts without looking like Logan Paul did it with a Dremel or something. Speaking of monster, I think I know where they got the roll mark font from. But these are just aesthetics, subjective. However, as I mentioned, I re-recorded this video to move the Tisas down from number 1 to 2 after Buffman emailed me, sending me pictures saying he got a PX57 with a barrel that had no rifling. That's bad QC. And because the number 1 and number 2 were so close to me, I moved the FN57 to number 1. Hate to do it to you, but you know number 1's got to be the FN57 Mark III, one of my favorite handguns. It feels like a NATO Death Squad duty pistol, and it looks the part too. The Mark III added optics compatibility. Lord have mercy, that peanut butter FDE finish is something incredible. FN invented the caliber. They invented the handgun that shoots it. That's probably why this is the most proven, longest running, most reliable 5.7 pistol. It's got military grade quality FN's known for. Excellent trigger, cold hammer forged steel barrel that's going to last forever unless you shoot enough ammo through it to personally bankrupt yourself. If I had to summarize why this gun belongs at number 1, it's fit and finish, proven reliability, the dedication to the platform, and the fact that this gun has been in its 3rd generation longer than nearly all the other guns on this list have existed. That track record goes a long way with me. Unfortunately, like I said, the gun's got a lot of shortcomings. 1, it's a huge pistol. 2, it's got a plastic slide. Personally, I don't give that much of a shit about it. No one's complaining about the slide like splitting in half or something. And the design has worked for FN for decades. But I know if I don't mention it as a con, I'm going to get called out in the video. There are some guys that just want to have metal slides, and I totally get that. 3, it's the biggest gun on this list, while only giving you a 20+1 capacity, tied for the lowest. It's also by far the most expensive, MSRP $1,509, although I have seen them street at under $1,000. Is this gun worth it for $999? I think so, but it's hard to defend when you can get a Ruger for less than half that price. As I said at the beginning of this video, we haven't seen the perfect 5.7 pistol yet. Maybe if we get something as small as the Kel-Tec, with the features of the Raptor, the quality of the Smith & Wesson, the track record, the reliability of the FN, the price to quality ratio of the Ruger at the size and capacity of the Rock Compact, then maybe we'll have the perfect 5.7. But until then, you have 6 actually wonderful choices as we sit here in 2025. I would not discourage anyone from buying any of these guns on this list. Just pick one. They're all great. So are you guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you most of all for your support. I was not compensated by any of the manufacturers mentioned in this video for this review. Our sponsors are Ventura Munitions, who sent the ammo that we used in this video, and Top Gun Supply, your online shooting sports superstore. Unlike most gun review channels, we do not do pay-for-play reviews like pay us and we're going to make a good review about your gun. We actually rely on you for support. So think about supporting us at subscribestar.com/TFBTV, where we give away $2,000 worth of merchandise and gift certificates every single month as a way of saying thank you to our viewers. That's why we've got over 1,000 supporters on Subscribe Star today. Thank you most of all for watching, and take care.